hold out opportunities. Those are the gateways to progress, the ones that hold ideas, and those that close deals. Let's take those to places where there are none. Let's open big doors that harbor progress. In all the places that we are,
KCB ni yangu.
KCB ni yetu.
KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
As we inform you every news-making headlines in Kenya and in the globe. I am your host, Videlis Njoki, and this is my segment. So welcome to the first news updates. The government has launched a new initiative to improve access to education for children with disabilities. The initiative, which is funded by the National Council for Persons with Disability Fund, will provide new classrooms and learning materials to selected schools nationwide. One of the beneficiaries of the initiative is Migori Primary School in Suna West Sub-County. The school has received 2 new classrooms and a laboratory valued at 3 million. The school head teacher, Moses Miranda, said that the specialized unit for students with disabilities has already been registered with the Ministry of Education, and teachers have been dispatched to conduct lessons at the school.
We came to Migori because we have funded the construction and furnishing of this classroom and workshop block. 2 classrooms and 1 workshop at a cost of 3 million Kenya shillings. And today we are here to commission. We are ensuring that this goes towards, because we cannot fight if we can't provide facilities. The children with disability are completely helpless and they belong to us. They depend on us to provide. If we provide facilities, they obviously will come out, and that means inclusiveness, without which we cannot profess to be including them.
So the building is having 2 classrooms and 1 workshop, which is going to cater for the children living with the mental cases. And right now in Migori Primary School, we have now a full school, which is now registered by the Ministry of Education, and even the TSC has brought in a new head teacher of the school called Migori Special School for the Intellectually Disabled. So which means the school will only handle children with
That is some good news where we trying to bring new infrastructure for children with disabilities. And we make sure they're included for development. So allow us to continue to other news update where the National Assembly has approved the deployment of 1,000 police officers to Haiti. The decision now awaits approval by the Senate, and the National Assembly's approval follows a recommendation from a joint security committee of the National Assembly and Senate. Kenya is set to deploy the officers under the Multinational Security Support Initiative, and the country is also advocating for climate change mitigation measures and a borderless African continent.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that taking into consideration the recommendation of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security, and the Senate Standing Committee on the National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations, in its report on the request regarding the deployment of officers of the National Police Service to the Multinational Security Support Mission to Haiti, laid on the table of this House on Wednesday, 15th November 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 248A, this House approves the deployment of the officers of the National Police Service to the Multinational Security Support Mission to Haiti. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, report on the first supply.
1,000 police officers to be deployed, and let's await for their approval and wish them all the best. So allow us to continue to other news update where the Kenya Kwanza administration has slammed opposition leader Raila Odinga's remark over the oil importation matter. On Thursday, leaders led by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah turned Raila Odinga's allegation as strict rumors and nothing short of hot air. Mr. Ichung'wah's refuted Raila's claims that the Kenya Kwanza government-to-government deal was aimed to drive up the cost of fuel in the country while benefiting some state officials. The Kikuyu MP made it clear that the three companies were representatives of Gulf nations' oil companies and not agents of Kenya government, as earlier claimed by Raila Odinga.
His purported dossier lacked any substance and is evidently part of his usual propaganda rumor mills. Mr. Odinga, however, rightfully stated that the Kenya's Ministry of Energy and Petroleum did sign a deal with state-owned petroleum companies in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, Aramco in Saudi Arabia and ADNOC in the United Arab Emirates. Please underline that it was Mr. Odinga who asserted that indeed there is a signed contract between the Ministry of Petroleum in Kenya and state-owned petroleum companies from Saudi Arabia and UAE. Our question therefore to Mr. Odinga is, what further definition of government to government would this be seeking if a contract signed between a state-owned enterprise in Saudi Arabia and one in UAE and a state ministry in Kenya is not government to government? What then is his new definition of government to government? Because this contract is signed, as he asserted himself, between the state-owned enterprises and the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy in Kenya.
In other news updates, 6 chief executive officers and 68 police officers have been suspended over alleged corruption and procurement irregularities. The suspension was ordered by Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei following recommendations from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is currently investigating the suspended officials. In a statement, the EACC said the suspensions are an attempt to safeguard the integrity of the investigations. On to our final news update, we have President William Ruto has received the full reports of the National Task Force and Police reforms and has directed the immediate implementation of its recommendation. The task force, which was led by the former Chief Justice David Maraga, made a number of recommendations aimed at improving the working conditions of police officers and other security personnel in Kenya. President William Ruto formed the task force in December 2022 to identify the legal, policy, and administrative, institutional, and operational constraints in the effective service delivery of the National Police Service, National Prison Service, and the National Youth Service.
The task force was asked to examine and review the various aspects that touch on the welfare, terms and conditions of service, capabilities, and service delivery, and to additionally identify the key levers for comprehensive change in the services. During the review, it became clear to us, Your Excellency, that the challenges facing the services were not just laws, policies, institutions, and processes, but also leadership gaps in the services. It also became clear that the reform recommendations stand little chance of being implemented if the leadership issues are not addressed. Initially, and because of the urgency of the issues, you had asked us this team to complete the exercise within 3 months. However, because of the depth and the complexity of the issues that emerged from the 3 services and the other requirements, such as public participation, consultations. There was a bit of delay, and we want to thank Your Excellency for extending the term to complete this. Your Excellency, to enable it to deliver on its mandate, the team carried out one of the most extensive consultations with the public participation in the 47 counties, and held sessions with the leadership of the three services and the members, the junior members of the three services. One of the remarkable recommendations, observations that came from both of the field and the members of the three services, is that this time round, the recommendations of the task force would be implemented. There have been similar issues have come up in the previous task forces, and they have not been recommended, but they trust that this time round, Your Excellency, with the commitment that you have given yourself, they don't have any doubt whatsoever that the recommendations will be implemented.
Welcome to the world of sports. And on to our first sports update, we have Harambee Stars lost to Gabon